Hey, John.
Eric, how you doing?
I'm good. I have swapped sides in my office.
Oh,
We'll see.
Is that why it looks different?
That's why it looks different.
Okay, yes, I'm not looking...
Because I have...
Okay.
Oh, no. I have a work desk, and
Okay.
I have a home desk.
Okay.
And I was doing something at work that... Anyways, I didn't want to touch the laptop, so I moved everything over to the work desk is nicer. It's the same chair, because it just rolls from one desk to the other. But
Sure, yeah.
the work desk is nicer. But I'm on the home desk.
Okay.
So
That's why you look different. Not that anybody listening to this can see that you look different.
That's right.
But there you go. Well, anything fun this week?
Actually, we ended up going to the high school play, Noises Off.
Ooh.
If you've seen or read the play before, it's quite an entertaining play.
We have not, but I think we need to try and go this weekend. I will make a point of trying to go this weekend because this is the last weekend.
I think so. And it was kind of fun because the play is basically 3 acts. You see, and it's a play within a play, right? And it's like the tech rehearsal, and you're seeing the front of the stage. And then on opening night, they flip the stage around and you watch the whole action of what happens behind the scenes.
This isn't like The Producers, though, right?
And then you flip the stage around for the 3rd act and you get, Anyways, it was well done and a lot of fun. So we did that.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, daughter number 2, who is our theater girl, came home for the weekend, but didn't get home in time to see the play.
Oh, bummer.
So she missed the play, but she was home for the weekend because Harry Styles was in town, and she had got tickets for Harry Styles at the end of her junior year of high school.
In the pre-pandemic times.
In the pre-pandemic times. And was looking forward to this. And then the pandemic happened, and they kept pushing the concert. And finally, 2 years later, almost,
oh, man.
They finally had the concert, and she was, "Dad, please, can I come home?" And I'm a sucker, so yes, she came home for the nosebleed seats to watch Harry Styles in concert. But it was fun.
That's awesome.
She had a great time.
Oh, that's cool.
And then to foreshadow my something fun, we actually drove out. My wife and I drove out to check out what is my something fun today.
Okay.
And I will tell you about it later.
Okay. I even saw the note and I have no idea what that is, so you'll have to tell me about it. All right. Cool. Well, I had a long weekend because I basically took Friday off. We have I guess symphony tickets, season tickets, but to one of the, I don't know, they have like A, B, and C tickets at the Oregon Symphony, and we have one of them. But we had an opportunity to go to an open rehearsal for the symphony this past weekend, and it was one that we did not have tickets for, and it was for a guest pianist who I do not remember his name. But he was playing a Rachmaninoff concerto, and it was, and I really like having the piano guests for the symphony. So my wife and I kind of had a nice day. We went out, got breakfast, dropped the kids off at school. Basically, dropped the kids off at school. Went to the symphony, had lunch, picked the kids up, and didn't actually go home in between. And then that was cool. And then actually the funny thing, so after we picked the kids up, we turned around and went back downtown Portland to buy a tuxedo for my older boy because their concert, the first high school band concert, is next weekend, and the boys, well, I think the girls have the option too, but have to wear a tuxedo. And so we went in and bought the world's cheapest tuxedo. But it is black, and he's going to wear it 4 times. No, that was very specific.
Powder blue. ruffled collar.
We pay you to wear this. No, not quite that. But I did call around to a couple places because we were like, where do we buy a tuxedo? And the first couple places I called, one was like, we don't have any, but you can try the downtown store, which was like Mr. Tuxedo. You know, it was a tuxedo rental place basically. But they didn't have any used ones, which I would have bought if they had them, but they didn't in his size. But anyway, that was pretty funny. But he looks good. He looks good.
Okay.
And you know, he's gonna wear it like, you know, 2 concerts this year, 2 concerts next year, maybe a recital or 2 in there. You know, like half a dozen times in the next 2 years. Just hopefully he won't outgrow it. But anyway, we'll see. So that was kind of fun. And then like Saturday, the fun thing I did on Saturday that I thought you would appreciate is I test drove the Ford Mach-E electric car.
And
it was really nice. It was really nice.
I have heard very nice things about it.
I've never driven a Tesla. I have had a friend say that you know, I actually have a number of friends that have Teslas and they love them, but you know, I don't know. If you bought a Tesla today, you don't pick it up till like next September. And the Fords are not that much better, but maybe a little bit. And the Ford still has a large credit in the U.S. And anyway, there's
right.
I don't know. So, but it was really fun to drive. It was really cool. It was like the most base model from last year. You know, the 22 models aren't out yet.
Right.
And so this was the lowest possible model. And given how scarce used cars are at the moment, it costs $6,000 more than it did new.
Wow.
So if you wanted to walk off the lot with that model, you would not get the $7,500 tax credit, and you would pay more than the sticker price last year. So it was really nice. I am tempted. I will say that I am tempted. But especially, so you'll appreciate this. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. I don't know. I was driving Monday night, with my son to the east side, Gresham, actually. And we got gas on the way there. Mm-hmm. And then we're driving. And, it's like 20, 30 miles over there.
Right. Yep.
And we're driving down dark road. And I look down at the odometer and I'm like, wait a minute. I know I reset that when we filled up the gas tank and it said 2.7 miles. And I'm like, I know we have driven more than 2.7 miles. We've driven like 10 times as far. And so I watch it for the next while. And I'm like, the odometer, the trip meter is not moving. Neither is the odometer. And I'm like,
your truck is giving you signs, John.
Dang it. I all I want is I want to get 18,000 more miles on this dang truck.
And now you can't prove it.
And exactly. And now I'm like, well, how many miles has it missed? Anyway, I will say, so, it didn't do anything else. We got all the way to where we were going and, turned off, did our thing. When we got back in the car and came back, it worked totally fine. So I don't know what that means.
Your vehicle is begging you for something.
But it is
begging you.
It is
Please,
begging. It's like, just stop driving me. Let me sleep. Oh, I'm so. Especially in the COVID days, we don't drive all that much. It's not like I'm driving back and forth to work every day, or 4 or 5 days a week.
Right.
So it seems like an awful lot of waste to buy a new car, but I don't know. My wife's kind of almost ready to be encouraging to buy a new car because we're both well matched. We're both relatively let's use the word thrifty and
that's a
pretend
word.
That's a compliment. So anyway, I thought that was funny. And
Okay.
I was like, well, how many signs do I need to have? I think I need at least one more, maybe two, maybe two more. So anyway, that's all good. All right. How about we get to the security part of this? What topics do you bring me today?
Okay. So I brought one because I brought one. I didn't really do a lot of cybersecurity reading this week, but this one I thought was interesting because we had talked about before with the Colonial Pipeline hack, right? That shut down the refinery pipeline on the East Coast. What was this, 4, 5, 6 months ago? I don't remember how long ago it was now. Time is a blur. I know. I remember thinking at the time, ransomware is just going to keep continuing until the criminals actually, doing the ransomware actually start to feel some heat. And this is an article that I saw. Well, it's not really an article. It's just a news bulletin from Reuters that the U.S. State Department on Thursday announced a reward for up to $10 million for information leading to the identification or location of anyone with a key leadership role in DarkSide, a cybercrime organization the FBI has said is based in Russia. The FBI has said DarkSide is responsible for the May cyber attack targeting Colonial Pipeline, causing days-long shutdown that led to the spike in gas prices, panic buying, and localized fuel shortages in the U.S. Southeast. So now ransomware operators are now up on what's the thing I remember as a kid
FBI's
in the post
wanted.
office on the wall.
The post
the FBI's
office.
most
Right.
wanted, and they're ponying up large sums of money for
Here you
information.
go.
So we'll see if that we'll see if that does anything, because I'm sure. And there's a number of others.
Impose cost.
Yeah, there's another one.
I actually have a comment in one of my topics. It makes reference to this, actually.
Okay.
So you just said Colonial Pipeline in May, so it was part of that quote, and I just looked up while you were talking, so real-time follow-up. We talked about the Colonial Pipeline in episode 183. There's something funny about a shaved alpaca.
There's still funny about a shaved alpaca.
So that was in June.
We need to keep referencing that episode because that makes me laugh every time.
That you can't laugh just once.
You can't.
Oh, that's funny.
Not imagine a shaved alpaca and find that hilarious. Not find that hilarious.
That is incredibly true. Yeah, no, so I think that there are many ways to
shave an alpaca,
impose cost. There's also, I guess, there's probably many ways to shave an alpaca too, but no, it doesn't all have to be about like leaving corporations to fend for themselves, and
right.
It doesn't mean that you shouldn't try and follow best practices, have good backups, have good digital hygiene, et cetera, et cetera. But,
right.
We don't need to be helpless in the face of criminal activity. So I'm really happy to see that. And yeah, my second topic is actually semi-related. So
all right.
We'll hit that.
Hit me with topics.
Hit that in a little bit more. So my first topic was a blog from Cloudflare about a botnet called Meris. And I haven't read. This clearly has been going on for a long time, but I haven't read much about this. But this was a good blog. I thought so. The first thing it says, Meris first got our attention due to an exceptionally large 17.2 million requests per second DDoS attack. 17.2 million requests per second. That's incredible. It launched against one of our customers. This attack, along with subsequent attacks originated by the Meris Botnet, was automatically detected and mitigated by our DDoS protection systems. So, a couple facts. Meris targets approximately 50 different websites every day with a daily average of 104 unique DDoS attack. More than 33% of all Meris traffic targeted China-based websites, and more than 12% of all websites attacked by Meris are operated by US-based companies. And Meris is Latvian for plague. I don't know how relevant that is, but there you go. It seems apropos. So the other thing is that it says, I guess this is why to use Latvian, but it says the Meris botnet is formed of infected routers and networking hardware manufactured by the Latvian company MikroTik. So router had a defect in the operating system router OS, which enabled attackers to gain unauthenticated remote access, read and write arbitrary files, etc. It was patched 3 years ago in 2018, but as you and I well know, just because a patch is available does not mean a patch is applied, especially everywhere, especially on, these aren't IoT devices, but especially on, let's say, purpose-built devices. So it says it is still being exploited in compromised devices that do not use the patched router OS or that use default usernames and passwords. So you can have strike one or strike two. Let's see. Other stuff in here. It says that it uses HTTP pipelining to send multiple requests over a single connection. And it uses open SOCKS proxies, across the internet to try and proxy their attack traffic. So kind of reflect off open proxies. It says the average attack peaked at 106. Although the average attack peaked at 106,000 requests per second, the median attack was actually smaller at 17.6. Basically, that means they've got they've got a few very large ones that bring up the average. But the largest attack was 17.2 million, and I didn't pull it out, but they had data in there. This was a pretty long article. They talked about how they deployed other new rules that kind of gave them better visibility, better security against the DDoS, but also better visibility into where the traffic was coming from and the size of it. And so they have a graph that basically shows what the sort of the daily traffic has been since they deployed those rules in the middle of August. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was a good article.
Okay.
All right. My second article was this is kind of the tie-in to the reward offered for the dark side, but this is an article that the U.S. officials seized an estimated $6 million in ransom payments and charged a suspect from Ukraine over the Kaseya attack in July, which used a ransomware known as Revil or Revil.
Revil?
I think it's Revil. Revil?
Is it Revil or is it
I say Revil in my head. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody else say it out loud. So let's say it with authority. It's Revil.
All right.
I don't know.
Revil it is.
It's GIF, dang it.
GIF.
So, okay. So this is Yaroslav Vasinsky, a Ukrainian national arrested in Poland last month, accused of deploying ransomware known as Revil, which has been used in attacks that have cost U.S. firms millions of dollars. Vasinsky conducted a ransomware attack over the 4th of July weekend on Florida-based software firm Kaseya. They infected up to 1,500 businesses around the world. We talked about this, the Kaseya hack back in July on episode 187. So this is a bunch of callbacks, I guess, to this past summer. So that one has not as good a title. That one's called "No One Is in a Hurry." So I don't remember
I don't remember why no one's in a hurry.
I don't remember why no one is in a hurry either, but that's okay. It's the middle of summer. It was the middle of summer. So, Wasinski, 22, he's so young, is being held in Poland pending U.S. extradition proceedings, while Polyanin, who's the other one charged, 28, remains at large. So, says the Treasury Department on Monday also imposed sanctions on Wasinski and Polyanin, as well as, it didn't say in this article, the cryptocurrency exchange that allegedly has moved money for ransomware operatives.
I did see that article, the name cryptocurrency exchange. I don't remember the name offhand, though. I'm now connecting dots for random things I saw this week.
Right. So it's interesting. Oh, this says another 10 million. I thought for some reason it was 5 million. Oh, well, maybe if I read the actual
there's
paragraph.
Also 5 million.
Yeah. I copied a paragraph out here. So
10 million for leadership, 5 million for participants.
There you go. You want one of the big folks or one of the little folks?
I want the big boss and anyone associated.
Yes. So 5 million for any information leading to an arrest or conviction. Oh, that's also a difference. So 10 million for identification or location of the leadership of the Revil ransomware gang, but they don't have to get a conviction. Or 5 million for information leading to an arrest or conviction of anyone conspiring or attempting to participate in Revil ransomware attacks. So it says, in a crowded landscape of cyber crooks, Revil has stood out for a series of brazen attacks. The group reportedly demanded $50 million from Apple earlier this year after hacking one of the tech giant's suppliers, and the FBI blamed them for the May attack on JBS USA, which is the beef production facilities. Let's see. Oh, it says JBS paid the hackers $11 million to unlock their systems. I don't know if I remember that, but it says Revil has been deployed on about 175,000 computers worldwide, with at least 200 million paid in ransom, according to Merrick Garland. And Polyanin, who the other guy that they don't have in custody, has allegedly conducted about 3,000 ransomware attacks, including some on law enforcement agencies and municipalities throughout Texas, Garland said. So, interesting there. And then the last fact out of this article I pulled out was that FBI Director Christopher Wray told U.S. lawmakers in September the Bureau was investigating more than 100 different types of ransomware. So, there you go.
Nice.
There you go. That's my topic.
Let's start going after cyber criminals.
I'm happy to see the U.S. actively pursuing
we chased down bank robbers
with other means, and it's like I said, that doesn't mean that you stop patching, but there's more than one way to shave an alpaca. Trying to tie that back together, but hey, it is late.
It still makes me giggle.
All right, my friend. Tell me something fun.
All right. So something fun this weekend that we did, we went over to Oregon City and went to see the Oregon City Municipal elevator. So it is one of only 4 municipal elevators in the world. And the elevator street that it ties together remains the only vertical street in North America. So it's a legitimate street. You come in at the bottom, hop on the elevator, and you go straight up, and it's run by the city. And it's this cool retro. Yes. This
is an elevator like an elevator in a building.
Correct, but it's outside. And the street stops at the elevator. You hop in the elevator, ride it to the top, and then continue on the street.
I'm sorry. Wait, so this is in your car?
No, you don't do a car.
Sadly. Oh, I'm like I'm picturing the the locks in like the Panama Canal. You drive in, the water lowers, and you keep driving. So I'm like, wait, I don't understand. So I have not clicked the link, so I've never seen this thing. Is it?
So it's kind of fun. It's right by Willamette Falls. You got to click the link because what really is
all right,
interesting about the link is reading the history of it. So it started in 1867. They built steps to go up this bluff because the Oregon City and where this is at. It's right by Willamette Falls. Is that right? Willamette Falls? Yeah, Willamette Falls. And there's the Willamette Falls Paper Company, and it was all these companies that were using hydropower real early on and harnessing the power of the Willamette River. And the street, it is right up on the edge of a bluff. And there's a whole history of the Oregon City Municipal Elevator. The stairs are constructed. They commissioned an elevator, and they issued bonds, and they built an elevator to go from the bottom to the top, except when they got to the top, people had to walk across this kind of, I imagine in my head, a rope bridge, a rickety rope bridge. But it's about 90 feet from the bottom to the top. And you can imagine in 1912, if your alternative was to ride 2 miles up the road to get to get to where you can turn around and come up, maybe an elevator straight up there, because it was a part of the town, big paper factory, a lot of industry going on right there. They need to get their workers to work fast. Anyways, so it was just a kind of a fun thing. And it kept breaking
awesome.
down. In the 1950s, they fixed it. And, eventually unfortunately, we were unable to actually ride the municipal elevator because it's currently under construction. It's under repair currently right now. So that made me sad. But we saw it, and we went and saw Willamette Falls, which is right there as well. So that's
okay. So I'm still... There's only 2 stops. There's the low stop and the high stop.
Correct. You drive up. Well, you park somewhere. It's right in there downtown. So it's a walkable downtown area. You walk into the elevator. It takes you from the bottom of the street to the top, and the street continues at that point.
Okay. All right.
It's
I was
a
just
vertical
trying to,
street.
Like, also when you said vertical street at first, and I don't know, there's no actual picture of that here, but
no.
I was picturing
you
like,
can Google it. There's tons of pictures. If you Google, Oregon City Municipal Elevator, there's tons of pictures.
Okay. I did not even know such a thing existed.
I didn't either.
I see.
We stumbled across it. It looked like fun. So we went and checked it out. And it was right next to Willamette Falls. So we went and kind of checked out the falls this weekend. That was one of the things we did this weekend.
That's fun.
And then
all right, that's totally cool.
It was fun. And then my other shameless plug of something fun is I finally finished my, air quote, my Wi-Fi Check app that I've been working on just kind of randomly, that allows you to, it reads some files on the Apple, like hidden preference files, to tell you stuff about your Wi-Fi networks you've connected to and how they got onto your device. So I thought it was a fun exercise in learning how to do Swift, and it was kind of fun. So if you want to go to wificheck.app, the website, you can download it and play with it. If you have Big Sur or Monterey, those are the requirements.
Which I do not yet have.
Because I use the latest Swift UI APIs, which require Big Sur. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
no, I gotta.
I
will. I guess maybe I could run it on my work computer. I haven't done it on the work computer, but I did try and run it on my Catalina, which it is no.
It
no
won't
bueno.
Run.
No, it says nay.
Alama says what?
All right, very cool. Very cool.
There you go. So those are my fun things.
All right. For my first fun thing, did you see this article yet?
Okay. No.
So I feel like somebody might be punking me. So this is it's on CNBC. So this, and there's a YouTube video, but this is an alternative rocket builder Spinlaunch completed its first test flight. So Spinlaunch is attempting to build a different way of launching a rocket, aka with no propellant. They basically have a vertically oriented launch, and then they spin I don't know why they call it a rocket. They spin the payload around and around and around to achieve hypersonic velocity and then fling it out like a bullet. So it's basically like
it's a cannon pointed at space.
It's a cannon pointed at space. And actually, if I forget the name of the title of the YouTube video, if you search Spinlaunch, I'm gonna have to look up this real quick because this absolutely fits with like, I don't know, my kids at least. Do you know the word yeet? So this is
Yeet?
The title of it. The biggest yeet. Engineers show they can throw rockets into space. So anyway, the verb yeet is I'm gonna yeet him into the volcano. Anyway, so they can yeet these payloads into space. So clearly not something that any human is going to withstand, because the number of G-forces on this must be absolutely astronomical. And the thing that we were trying to figure out from sort of a physics perspective is, how does this not have like the largest sonic boom as the as the payload exits and heads up
as the payload's yeeted skyward.
But so literally, this is it says what is this? It's they're coming out of stealth mode. But I love this quote. Let's see. So this is by Yanni, the founder. I find that the more audacious and crazy the project is, the better off you are just working on it rather than being out there talking about it. Yanni said, "We had to prove ourselves that we could actually pull this off." So yeah, this is the other quoted here. This is about building a company and a space launch system that is going to enter the commercial markets with a high cadence and launch at the lowest cost in the industry. So yeah, it says, developing a launch system that uses kinetic energy as its primary method to get off the ground, with a vacuum-sealed centrifuge spinning the rocket at several times the speed of sound before releasing. Anyway, I saw this and I was like, what in the heck? So it's actually a 1/3 scale version of what they intend on building. So, but even so, it's 165 feet tall, or quote, taller than the Statue of Liberty. So it says the suborbital projectile is about 10 feet long, but goes as fast as the orbital system needs, which is many thousands of miles an hour.
I would love to see this.
Right?
But yeah, if it's going many times the speed of sound, how is there not a big boom as it crashes through the air?
That was our dinner conversation of... well, when you were a kid, did you go...
Because inside the vacuum...
When you were a kid, did you go to air shows where they broke the sound barrier?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they do that these days, but...
They did one in Oregon when I was little. They did the Oregon Hillsborough Air Show did one when my boy was really little, and you watch the fighter jet fly by and there's no sound. It is weird. And then all of a sudden crack as it, the sound follows it. It's pretty cool.
No, I've heard that, like, when I was young. I don't really remember hearing them when we were taking my kids to the air shows, but maybe I was missing it. I thought they, it was, relatively restricted for them to do over the continental U.S. these days. But anyway, yeah, that would make a big difference. It does sound like, that they will have a what does it say?
What I don't get is it's in a vacuum, at least if I understand that. So it starts spinning in a vacuum, so
yes,
low friction, and then all of a sudden they stick it in the air. That's got to be like hitting a brick wall at that speed.
Right?
Or, dropping into water from a really high, it's, that's got to go ouch somewhere.
So watch the YouTube video, because they show the thing breaking through a membrane, which, I don't know. I have many questions. I have many questions.
Okay.
But this was not even on my radar. So the fact that this exists in the world is cool. So, build a space cannon. There you go.
Got it.
So anyway, I thought that was too cool. That was too cool to not mention and show.
Right.
All right. My second one. So I have two something fun. Sorry. My second one is completely different from the first. So this is a 600-year history of a French mill, the world's oldest shareholding company. So this is a Quartz article that was just awesome. This is totally cool because this company, this way predates companies actually. But it says, let me start at the beginning. So it says, many people know the Dutch East India Company as the first modern corporation, but a group of French millers formed the Société des Moulins de Bazacle. I'm totally butchering that, I'm sure. A surprisingly sophisticated and modern shareholding company centuries before the Dutch. And then I love this parenthetical. It also has the added distinction of not having started or participated in a series of wars in East Asia. But it says, so people have been milling grain at the Bazacle, a natural ford on the Garonne River in Toulouse, since at least 1071. But in 1369, the mill owners who shared a perpetual lease on the river signed a profit-sharing agreement. And in 1372, after one of their number was about a decade late repaying a debt to a merchant, what's likely one of the oldest creditor/shareholder lawsuits of all time led to a corporate structure that lasted centuries. So from 1372 until World War II, it functioned as essentially a corporation. So it says it survived fires, dam-destroying floods, ice flows, plagues, famine, revolution, all while paying out 100% of its profit in dividends to a changing group of shareholders. It successfully transitioned from a mill to hydroelectric utility in 1888, listed publicly on the Paris Stock Exchange, and what eventually did it in wasn't mismanagement, but the fact that the French government nationalized it along with every other utility in the country in 1946, after World War II. The shares in the society were called Yuchao, and were freely transferable without the company's involvement. Revenue came from 1/16th fee on grain milled, and all profits were dispersed to shareholders through a periodic dividend called a partisan. And shareholders paid a periodic talha for upkeep and investment. And if they could not, their Yuchao reverted to the company. Basically, what do you call it in a homeowners association when everybody has to pony up $100 or whatever?
HOA?
Yeah.
Dues?
Yeah. But it says that shareholders and their heirs could sell entire Yuchao or fractions as small as 1/120th of them. And that while they didn't issue stock, the Dutch East India Company was the first to issue stock. The society checks off many of the requirements for being a corporation much earlier and did so for an impressive 6 centuries. It was private and profit-seeking. There were shareholder audits of the company's books. Investors didn't directly manage the company except through its board of directors. The directors were appointed by a shareholder vote at an annual meeting. It had limited liability and was treated as a legal entity distinct from shareholders as early as the 14th century. And by the 1500s, the company had a COO, treasurer, and clerk. And they kept meticulous records. So it says the data is remarkably complete. The researchers were able to calculate the dividend paid out for 417 years of the firm's history, and fiscal registers from Toulouse and accounts in newspapers let them construct a 364-year data set of share prices.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome? I thought that was really cool. So
I was unaware of that. That is
kind of a little different from space cannon or whatever you want to call the other thing. But
from space cannons to French mills, we talk about everything.
I thought this was awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, there's my something funs.
All right, they were very fun.
All right, my friend.
I will talk to you later, John.
Have a good holiday tomorrow.
Yep.
I'll talk to you later.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.